It is indeed a privilege and a pleasure for the young officers of the Indian Information Service to be with you today, sir. I'd like to thank you on behalf of all of us for sparing your valuable time to share this moment with us. The Indian Information Service is part of the civil services and handles the information needs of the Government of India. Our responsibility is to take the information about the Government of India, its policies and programs, to the people in a variety of ways. We also provide feedback from the media, from the field, about how the policies are working, what is the opinion of people, what are their reactions, and how they perceive their aspirations in the context of the democratic process. Sir, today, media has assumed a very important role. Communication has become central to the whole democratic process. It is through communication and media that people understand the working of the government. They form their opinion about their policies and programs. We are proud to have a free, vibrant media. In the last few years, there has been a huge expansion, particularly of the electronic media and the social media. The electronic media is reaching people not just in English and Hindi and the main national languages, but in a huge variety of languages. We have over 800 television stations today. Also, the growth of the print media is outpacing the growth of the print media anywhere in the world. We have a huge young population that is accessing information through the media, through social media, and increasingly through their mobile telephones. In this context, sir, the role of the Indian Information Service becomes even more critical. It's important for any government to ensure that whatever decisions it takes, whatever are the challenges that it has faced in taking those decisions, are fully understood by the people. We look forward to working with the government closely on this. And sir, on behalf of the service, I would like to assure you of our commitment and our competence in doing this task to the best of our ability. It is a field which is changing every day, which is expanding every day, and it is a challenge really to keep up with the latest in this sector. Technology is something that has supported the growth of the media, that has underpinned it, and we need at the same time to develop our skills in dealing and handling this technology to the best of our ability. There's a wide spectrum in which we have to work, right from the electronic media to the communication which reaches the last person in the field, even if that person is illiterate and has access only to some information sources. We hope that in the career that we have ahead, we will be able to do the task that is assigned to us in the best possible manner. Once again, sir, I'd like to thank you for your time and sharing with us.
उपस्थित सम्मानीय अतिथिगण और प्रिय सहकर्मी, नमस्कार। मैं आशुतोष मोहले मैं कहना चाहूँगा, हड़प्पा सभ्यता की श्रेष्ठ या गांधी जी के हरिजन पत्र का प्रभाव भारतीय इतिहास सदैव ही सूचना की शक्ति से प्रभावित होता रहा। इंदिरा गांधी ने 1967 में भारतीय सूचना सेवा की नींव रखी। भारतीय सूचना सेवा देश भर में महत्वपूर्ण सूचनाओं के प्रचार एवं प्रसार हेतु प्रतिबद्ध है। इसके अंतर्गत प्रसार भारती, पीआईबी, डीएफपी आदि जनसाधारण से संबद्ध तथा राष्ट्रीय महत्व के विभाग आते हैं। इस सेवा का प्रशिक्षण नई दिल्ली स्थित भारतीय जनसंचार संस्थान से प्रारंभ होता है। इसके पाठ्यक्रम में रेडियो संप्रेषण, विकास पत्रकारिता, प्रेस वार्ता, सामाजिक अनुसंधान आदि विषय शामिल हैं। किसी दुर्घटना की विभीषिका किस प्रकार उपयुक्त सूचना द्वारा कम की जा सकती है, महत्वपूर्ण विषयों पर विशेष कार्यशाला सूचना क्रांति का युग है और इस युग में अपना सिर्फ कलम बल्कि कीबोर्ड भी तलवार से का इस महान क्रांति से अछूती नहीं है। हम सभी आने वाले कल में अपने शब्दों को यहाँ समेटते हुए मैं पुनः सम्माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदय को उनकी उपस्थिति हेतु धन्यवाद देता हूँ। कर्तव्य के प्रति सत्यनिष्ठ, प्रतिबद्ध एवं समर्पित
that I may have received, this one indeed is the most esteemed, and as I stand here to address the Honorable President of India and thank him for his dignified audience. We feel fortunate to seek the blessings at the beginning of our career from a statesman who has had a long and distinguished experience in public service. The critical role played by the Indian Information Service has already been highlighted. To enable the officers of the Indian Information Service to work across the diverse domains, a systematic and interdisciplinary training program is conducted at the Indian Institute of Mass Communication. I'd like to use this opportunity to thank the Government of India as well as the management and faculty of the IIMC for providing us with a truly amazing human and physical infrastructure for our training. Our training at IIMC has been a process of metamorphosis. It included hands-on experience with different kinds of media, projects for evaluating the effectiveness of communication strategies using various governmental and civil society organizations. A high point of our training was our appointment as the Associate Awareness Observers by the Election Commission of India during the Karnataka Assembly elections held in May 2013. Our role was to oversee the effectiveness of the initiatives taken by the Election Commission of India to increase the voter awareness and voter turnout. The last part of our training that included the Bharat Darshan that invoked in us a deep insight to the striking geographical and cultural diversity of India and created a deep connect with these places and cultures which was hitherto unfelt. Deriving inspiration from you, Honorable President, and enriched with our training, we, the officer trainees of the Indian Information Service, endeavor to serve our country with a spirit of public service imbued with high standards of morality and efficiency. Thank you.
I now request Srimati Neelam Kapoor, Shri Jaydeep Bhatnagar, and OT Punita Sadasivaya to present a memento from
Good morning, Srimati Neelam Kapoor, Principal Director General, Press Information Bureau, Shonil Tandon, Director General, Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Officers Trainee, Probationers, ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, I would like to welcome you to this historic Rashtrapati Bhavan, which has witnessed many important events in the contemporary history of India. It's a curious aspect of the history that when this magnificent structure was built and occupied, it was between the period of First World War and Second World War. As many of you may be knowing, that capital was transferred from Calcutta to Delhi in 1911. From 1757, precisely 1774, when the structured British administration was introduced in India. Since then, Calcutta, being the seat of power, was the center of all activities. Delhi, occupying that place, also played the major role, especially when this building was occupied by Lord Irwin in 1931. I was saying that it was a curious turn of history in the sense that when this building was finally constructed in the 20s of last century, really British imperial power was unparalleled and unrivaled. after winning the First World War and French being subdued. As a consequence to the First World War, there was no challenger to British maritime power. On the sea, they were unparalleled, unrivaled. But the quirk of history is that this glory lasted for a very short period of time. 6 Governor-Generals of India, including Rajagopalachari, who was an Indian and a freedom fighter, for a short span of 16 years, from 39 to 47, equally saw the decline of the most powerful colonial ruler in the world. Power was transferred here. Declaration to the Republic, from initial stage it was dominion status, 47, 48, 49. Introduction of the parliamentary system of government and all the subsequent developments took place over these years, and these buildings are silent spectators of those momentous changes in the Constitution, in the current contemporary history of the country. I welcome you to your services, and particularly when you are joining the public service in an important segment of government. There is a saying, knowledge is power, and information is the base of knowledge. Uninformed person can never be knowledgeable. Very basic ingredients of the knowledge is information. And to run the modern statecraft, there must be uninterrupted flow of information. But those raw informations, how to effectively use it, translate it into formulation of the policies and programs, are being analyzed, critically appraised, and thereafter you ensure it that it reaches to the policymakers. Therefore, your role is not simply to issue the press release or give your superiors what is happening in the field and what type of information you are having from the field formation. In one way, you are the liaison between the common people, public at large, and the policymaker. Therefore, there is no wonder that each ministry has information officer, and some of the important ministry has officers at a reasonably senior level who act as the liaison between the ministry and the common public. Today, it is correctly said that there has been a revolutionary change in the information technology. Many centuries ago, when the first printing press was invented by human ingenuity, that was a revolution in the world of expansion and exchange of information. And today's information technology, the quantum jump which has taken place in respect of the change, is simply mind-boggling. As many of you may be aware of, I had the fortune of being associated with the Union government for more than 4-5 decades, of course not continuously. but at different phases. And I myself eyewitness of how this evolution was taking place. I remember very clearly the debate which took place in early 80s when Bosant Sathe as information minister wanted to massively use the satellite communication systems, and there was strong opposition from different sectors also. But we ultimately recognized that it would be foolish not to take advantage of the technology which is available to us. The second important aspect is what I refer to as the uninterrupted flow. Uninterrupted flow does not mean merely uninterrupted flow of raw information. Information must be processed, must be analyzed, must be appraised. Real value of the information must be worked out. And that could be treated as the input to the policymakers, which can get reflected in the formulation of the policy. At one point of time, it was thought that television perhaps is the last word and most lasting influence it will have on human life. But today social media is rapidly changing that scenario, and I do not know what technology will bring, what type of changes. As I said, simply the speed of change is mind-boggling. You, the young new entrants, always you shall have to update yourselves, upgrade your skill to match with the changes which are taking place in technology, in the information. There was a time, intelligence collection, information collection is the job of the ruler from the ancient civilizational days. But there has been changes. You are not merely collector of information. You are reactor to collecting the information, analyzing it, appraising it, arriving at the core content of that huge mass of information you are getting, to put it to the policymakers as the important ingredient of policy formulation is the most crucial job. In our day-to-day life, we find more than often we find that lack of proper communication, lack of presenting a fact in its proper perspective stands in the way of understanding and appreciating the situation fully. Your job is very crucial to bridge that gap and to see that the information which you are sharing with the public, which you are giving to your seniors, there should not be any gap, and it should be placed in the proper perspective, in the context of the broad policy parameters and the basic fundamental principles of this country, of our constitution. Therefore, while welcoming you, I will expect that you are entering into your public careers to serve the people of this great country. And it is one of the most beautiful instruments of the government of India or any other modern government today is the well-structured, well-trained and well-oiled bureaucratic machinery, civil service, which is most important, and you are an important component of that machinery. I wish you all success. I wish that the revolutionary changes which are taking place in the field of technology, you will fully appreciate it, absorb it, apply your mind and to see that how best you can get out of it, and through that process you can serve your nation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you all success in your life. Jai Hind.
Your kind words of wisdom encourage for the long journey ahead. I would also take this opportunity to thank Madam Neelam Kapoor for spending her time and gracing the occasion. I would also like to thank the officers of the President's Secretariat for helping the smooth function to be organized without any delay or hiccups. Thank you.